Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Sat from CyberSudo. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how can you find someone's personal email address using OSINT. Now, as we know that an email address is a unique identifier, which means that one email address belongs only to one person. But if you have, let's say, a person with the name John Smith, and you want to search for John Smith online, you might get hundreds, if not thousands of results online. And you don't know which one is the person that you're looking for, especially if you just have a name without a picture. So that's why I think that having an email address is very important, because just by having the email address, we can get and gather a lot of information online. For example, we can see what their social media accounts are, or if they have reviewed anything on Google Maps, or in which website they are registered on, or if there are any leaked password, etc. Now, the methodology that I'm going to be showing you in this video does not always work on all people, which means that you won't always be able to find everybody's personal email address. I'm going to be showing you a perfect example on how we can use OSINT and link all the data and information together. But trust me, for every person you want to search for, you always have to create your own methodology based on the information that you get online. For example, you might get only a username, and from the username you can extract and search for more information. So this means that every person, or I would say that every person, has to have his own methodology based on the information that you have, because the information that you get are different from an account or from a person to a person. There might be a person that is very active online, and there might be a person who is not very active, but they only just have an Instagram account, or maybe they don't have social media accounts, but they only have an email address. Based on the email address, you have to find more information. Now, all the resources, websites, links, extensions that we will use in this video are going to be in my OSINT list. You will find its link in the description, and you will also going to get 2 mini courses on how you can find password of WPA2 using OS X, and the second one is how you can unlock vulnerable cards using frequency or radio replay attack. Now, with that being said, let's start our video. Alright, so here we have a person called Charlotte Lang. And the first thing that I would like to do is to search for her social media accounts. Now, Charlotte, if you are watching this video, I'm so sorry, because I'm going to expose your email address, but it's not something that I have discovered. This is something that the companies, and you will see how the companies has your email address. So I'm not like getting your email address or doing anything illegal, because your email address is already online, and I'm not the one who have discovered it. It's already online. So the first thing I would like to do is to search for his social media accounts. So I would like to copy the name, put it in Google, and hit search. So here we can see that we have a LinkedIn account, Twitter, and we also have a Facebook account that I would like to show it to you. Now, we know, or I know, that Charlotte is this woman. So here we have a Twitter account as well. So first of all, I'm going to open all the links. Here we have LinkedIn, here we have Twitter, and let me search for it in Facebook. And here we have account on Facebook. So we have three profiles. We have Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And we can start from Facebook. So the first thing I would like to do is to check the About section, and we can see that she lives in London, United Kingdom, and she is from this area. We can also look at the work education, if there is any, place lived in these places, contact information. We know she's female, and we can see all friends, current city, and these are very important to look at. So don't think that this is not important, because everything that you get is very important because you might use it in the future to get more specific information. So just by having her Facebook account, the thing that I can do is to copy the username of your Facebook account, and then I'm going to open an incognito tab, and then I'm going to go to Facebook, and then I'm gonna say forgot my password, and then I'm gonna add the username, search, and here we have email addresses. Now we have 3 emails, and we would like to discover these emails or see what these emails are. So I would like to copy them and put them in my notepad. So I'm gonna put them in here. And the thing that I first do is always get here first name, for example, and then say dot, and then we have lang@hotmail.com. Now we can see that here we have 24 characters, and in this email we have 27 characters. The thing that we are looking for is an email address with 24 characters. Now I can just do the same in here. So I can just guess the letters, so to say, or so to speak. And we can see that here we have a Gmail account. So I'm gonna replace Gmail, Hotmail with Gmail, and say L in here and C. So we can see that here we have 25 characters and here we have 27 characters. What we want to do is to just manipulate the email address so that we can get the same characters or the same amount of characters in the email address that we found on Facebook. So we can say, for example, Charlotte Lang and then 99. So we can try this one, we can try 89, we can try 79, we can try 19. So we can try multiple email addresses, and to make sure that an email address is correct or not, we just have to copy it and then go to say not you, enter it in here and then say search. We can see that we have no search results. So we can use the find your account page to enumerate and see if we can find the email address or not. Now in this case we didn't find the 79, we can try the 1929, etc. Now another email address we can see is c and then @b.a.uk. We have to guess these letters in order for us to get the email address. So I will assume that the C is for Charlotte and then Lang at something. Now the question is, how can we get the domain name? Because this domain name could be either an email provider like gmail.com or hotmail.com or anything, ProtonMail for example, or it could be a business email. And this is the question. Now in order for you to know whether this is a business email or a free email provider, we have to check a list that I found on GitHub called all email provider domains. Now here you can see a huge list of domains, and what you want to do or what you want to search for is everything that ends with UK. Once you get everything that ends with UK, you have to look which one starts with the letter B. So I like just to copy the whole list and put it in a TXT file and then eliminate anything that does not end with UK, and then I can just zoom in and see which domain has that starts with B and ends with UK and have the A in it, in the middle in it. Now I've already looked at the list and I did not find this domain in the list that I have showed you, because this is a business email address or a university email address that I'm going to show you. This video is going to be a little bit long, but trust me, you will get a lot of information and you will see how we are going to do this. Now, we don't know this email address. We can try to manipulate and replace all these stars, these stars with the first name, last name, and maybe add some letters or dot, underscore or minus, etc. But I have tried all of these, but these did not work. So the second thing we can do is to go to her LinkedIn account, which is in here. And from here, we are going to use two extensions. Now, the first extension is called Contact Out that you can download from Chrome Store. Now, Chrome Contact Out has a huge list of email addresses of LinkedIn users that's been leaked online. And the moment you sign in to your account, you'll be able to use this extension. Now, here we have here LinkedIn account. All we have to do is just to click on the Contact Out icon. And now it will find all these email addresses that belong to Charlotte. So we can see that we have a lot of email addresses, and the one that we were looking for is this one at gmail.com. So we have this email that we didn't know earlier, and now we found it on LinkedIn. It's charlotte.lang89@gmail.com, and this might be her personal email address. And I'm going to show you in a different video on how we can search for email addresses and get a lot of information. But for now, let's focus on how can we find here or someone's email address. So here we found the first email, so I'm going to remove this from here. The second thing that we don't find here in this list is the @b and then that ends with UK. Now we can see a lot of email addresses. Here are all of them. I'm going to copy all of them to this list. All right, so here are the email addresses that we found from this extension. You can see here are all the email addresses. We can also see a clang@hercompanyname.com. And if we scroll down a little bit, we can see here experiences, and we can see that she worked in multiple companies. For example, she worked in this company in Weber Shandwick, and we can see that it's not in here. We can see that she worked in Human Brophy, and this is her work email address. We already found it. We can see all the companies that she worked on, and these are here business email addresses. These are not the personal email addresses. We can see here that we found here personal email address, but we're not going to use this. We just found it, and this is good. But to know or to see what this email address is, we really have to look closely at her LinkedIn account. I already searched for that, and I know that by looking at her profile, we can see that she went to the University of Bath, and this is her university email address. I know this because if I searched for University of Bath, you can see that the domain name is bath.ac.uk. So I'm going to assume that the email address is clang@bath.ac.uk. So I'm pretty sure that this is her email address, but to make sure that this email address works and it's live, we have to validate the email address. And in order for us to do this, we have to rely on some online services. Now, in my OSINT list in the email section, you will find all of these websites that you can use to find someone's email address, whether it's a business email address or a personal email address. But I also have a service called Verify Email. You can just open the link, and from here you can add the email address to see whether it is valid or not. Now I'm going to copy the email address that we got and put it in here, and then I'm going to say Verify Email, and you will see that it's bad and it's not valid, which means that this email address is not active. Now I know and I assume that this email address is not valid because the format or the pattern of the university email address is different. So let me put the email address in here. You can see that it's bad, as you can see. And the reason is, if we looked at her LinkedIn account, we can see that she was in the university from 2008 to 2010. So this is more than 10 years ago. And if we want to know the pattern that this university uses, all we have to do is to use a service like hunter.io. And from here, we are going to add here or the domain name. And this will identify the pattern of this email address. Now we can see that we have F dot and then the last name. And I think that this is a new pattern that the university uses, but the old pattern was F and then without dot, then the last name. So we have C lang without the dot in the middle. So this is the new format of the university, and all the old pattern of this university are disabled. This is why we get a bad response. Now we have got two email addresses. As you can see, we know this email address, and I wasn't able to identify the email address that she uses in here. If I did more enumeration and searched online, I'm sure that I will be able to find it. Another thing that I'm going to show you is an extension on LinkedIn called Signal Hire. Now Signal Hire is not a free extension, but you can actually use it to search if the email address exists on LinkedIn, and it will show you the profile of the person that you have here, his or her email address. So let me show you an example and log in first. So I'm gonna say sign in. All right, so after you log into your account on Signal Hire, if you just clicked on reveal contact, you have to pay money. You can see that I have no credits, and this is why I can't use the extension. But what you can actually do is go and click on find the lead, and from here, if you have an email address of somebody, you can put it in the extension and it will show you his or her LinkedIn account. So let's, for example, use this one. We have this email. I'm going to enter it in here, then find profile, and it will immediately show me to which account this email address belongs. So if I clicked on the profile, it will show me Charlotte LinkedIn profile. Another extension that you can use is called Get Prospect, which is a free extension. You will be able to search like 800 or 400 times a month, I believe. So what you can do is just click on someone's profile on LinkedIn, and then it will show you some information about the profile and their email addresses. Now, this is not as powerful as Contact Out, because Contact Out will show you all the previous email addresses that's been used with this account, not like or unlike Get Prospect that will only show you the last email address they have about this person. Now, these are three extensions that I think are wonderful to get a lot of information from LinkedIn users, but of course you won't be always able to get their personal email addresses from these extensions, and they might not also have a LinkedIn account. So you have to use the Facebook method, in which you have to replace the stars with their first, last name, or anything, any username that you found online. You can also put it in here. And I'm going to show you an example right now. So assuming that we weren't able to guess these stars, all right, but we know the first and last name of this person. Now what we can do is open Google, and now your job is to search for this person on Google and find all of her or his social media accounts, because sometimes, and only sometimes, you will realize or you will find that their username is the first part of their email address. So assuming that, let's say that we're looking for Charlotte Lang again, and this is her Twitter account, for example, we can see this is her username. We can see Charlotte J Lang, which is different than before, and we know that in Twitter you can customize your username. So we might think, and we might replace the Charlotte or these stars with the username that you found online, and you might get a result. This worked for me one time, especially if you found that the user has a Pinterest account, because Pinterest will take the first part of the email address, which is the username, for example. In this case, it's Charlotte J. Lang, and will use it as a username for the account. So they will check the email address and take the first part and use it as a username. And by knowing the username, you can guess the stars that we have in here, for example. We can replace the stars with the username that we found on Pinterest, for example. The next thing I would like to show you is a service called Email Permutator, which will generate a list of possible email addresses that we can use to guess the stars that we found on Facebook. Now, the name that we found on Facebook was Charlotte, or C, then stars, and then G at the end, and then at hotmail.com. This did not work with this email address, but I'm going to show you a different email address that will make you understand what I mean. Now, we can enter the first name of the person that we are targeting, or we are trying to find here, or his email address. In this case, I'm gonna say Saad, and then the last name is Saraj. And if there are any middle names or nicknames, then I'm going to type them in here. And the domain that we are looking for is this one. So let's assume that we found this email address on Facebook and we wanna guess these stars. So I'm gonna say that the domain is gmail.com, and then I'm gonna say permutate, and now we get a list of email addresses. So what I'm gonna do right now is to sort this list from shortest to longest, and you will see right now why, because this is gonna save a lot of time. So I'm gonna use a service that you're going to find it in my OSINT list. So I'm gonna put the list that we got from the email permutated before, and then I'm gonna say sort format from shortest to longest, and then sort lines. Now, after sorting the list, I'm going to copy all of this and put it in my notepad, as you can see. And now the next step is to eliminate everything that's lower than 20 characters, because this email address is 20 characters. So I'm going to eliminate anything that's higher or more than 20 characters or lower than 20 characters. So I'm going to remove all of these. This two, and this one as well. And these are more than 20 characters. And now we have only 2 email addresses. And in this case, we can use an email validator like this. So I'm going to copy the first email address, say verify email. And I think that it's okay, as you can see, because this is a well-known email address. And this is also okay, but if you have a list of 20 email addresses, then you might want to use a bulk email validator that you will also find it in my OSINT list, and it will check which email is live and which one is inactive, and all of the ones that are inactive can be redacted and removed from the list. Therefore, you will have a shorter list that you can use in your OSINT investigation or in your OSINT case to check whether this email address is assigned to a LinkedIn account or to a Facebook account. But in our case, since we know that the first letter is S and the last one is J, you can see this one is D at the end, so I'm going to remove this. And the email address is saadsaraj@gmail.com, which is the correct one. Now, I have tried this with Charlotte Lang email address, but I wasn't able to find her email address. But if you searched more online, you will definitely find her email address. Now, going back to her LinkedIn profile, we can click and use the contact out extension, and we can also find a phone number. And what I'm going to do right now is to check whether this phone number is linked to her Facebook account or not. And all I have to do is just to use the find your account page from Facebook, and then I'm going to add the phone number and replace the 0 with +44, because this is the country code that UK uses. I'm going to say search, and you can see that we were able to find her Facebook account, we can make sure that this phone number is linked to her Facebook account, and we can also see 3 email addresses which we also found previously by searching for her account using this forgot your password page. So now we know her email addresses, we know her phone number, and we can use her email addresses and phone number to search for more information. But this video is very long and I'm not going to make it longer. So in this video, you have learned how can you find someone's personal email address. This is not going to work always because some users do not have LinkedIn accounts. But first of all, always search for the social media accounts. Once you find them, use the extensions to extract their email addresses. And then if you found their Facebook accounts, go and check forgot my password and see what email addresses can you get. Once you get email addresses, then try to manipulate and remove the stars and replace them with their first and last name, or maybe date of birth at the end of the email. And if this did not work, try to use the permutate email service. Try to sort all the emails, eliminate everything and remove everything that is higher or lower than the email addresses that you found from their Facebook accounts. Once you do this, check if the email addresses that you got are live or not using the validation services that you will find them in my CyberSudo OSINT list. And if you have an email and you want to make sure that whether this email address is linked to a LinkedIn account or not, then you can get or use the Jet Prospect extension. Now, this is not sponsored at all, but I think these extensions are very great for searching for someone's email address. I hope you've learned something new. All the links and websites are going to be in my OSINT list, along with the 2 mini courses that you will get by clicking on the link in the description. Please let me know what do you think, or whether you have tried this at home, whether you found someone's email addresses or not. Please let me know in the comment section, and I'm very happy if you are still watching this video till now, because I know this video is more than 20 or maybe 30 minutes. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you, and I will see you in a different video. Thank you for watching.